always valuable to consider where you came from. If you're a Muslim, those are our ancestors. You don't have to be of African descent. Because just as a Muslim of African descent says, my spiritual father is Abraham, millata abikum Ibrahim, who is not of African descent. Muslims identify with our Prophet ﷺ, who is not of African descent. So this is a chapter in the story of Islam. It's called the North American chapter. And if one is a Muslim, this is our history. It's not my history. It's not Imam Abu Qadir's history. It is our history. Just as the struggle of those Lebanese and Syrians, and the struggle of the Yemenis, moving from agriculture to urban environments, and struggling to be established in urban settings, and the struggle of the youth. This is our history. It's not Yemeni history. It's not Vietnamese history. It's not Filipino history. It's our history. And that's one of the beauties of Islam. It brings us together into an ummah. And that ummah, how does Allah Ta'ala describe it? إِنَّ هَذِهِ أُمَّتُكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً وَأَنَا رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُونَ. That verily this community of yours is one community, and I am your Lord, worship me. There's one community. And it's a one community that has different neighborhoods. Choose your neighborhood. You don't have to live in a neighborhood you're not comfortable in. But you have to acknowledge each and every neighborhood is part of the wider community. And you have to understand that struggle and resistance to oppressed laws and oppressed rules, this is what Islam has been about from the beginning. Mentioned the first slave revolt was undertaken by African Muslims. They resisted the brutality of slavery. And so we have to be a community that is not afraid to raise our voice in opposing unjust and oppressive policies, and opposing unjust and unfair practices, and then building alliances. They didn't have that opportunity because their potential allies were all slaves. And building alliance meant going back to the slave plantation after you've run away from it. But we have an opportunity struggling today under very difficult circumstances. And we look at their ability to maintain their dignity, to maintain their faith, to maintain a good opinion of God. We'll stop here. We started with Africa. We'll end with Africa. The UN did a survey on global optimism. You know who they found to be the most optimistic people on the face of the earth? People in Mali and Niger. Predominantly Muslim people, some of the poorest people on earth. But they had the ability to hope and believe in a better day. That's what Islam is all about. Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran, إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Only a disbelieving people despair of mercy and relief from God. Only a disbelieving people despair. And عند ظن عبدي بي وأنا معه حيث ذكر إذا ذكرني. I am as my servant thinks I am. Imam Shawkani, he says in his book Tuhfat al-Dhakirin, this is the first hadith he discusses. He says this means God will manifest himself in your life as you think he is. If you think God is merciful, you'll find mercy in your life. And if you think God is other than that, you'll find other than that. So entertain a good opinion of God, of Allah Ta'ala. Have a good opinion of Allah Ta'ala. And be proud, be dignified, be upright, and get busy to help to spread those values and to spread those sentiments amongst the wider population, because people are hurting. And in that pain, a lot of people are losing hope. A lot of people are losing direction. A lot of people are losing their way. And if anything, Muslims, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. You are the best community raised up to serve humanity.